From MRIs to EKGs, sonograms to scanners, medical technology allows doctors to monitor vital information about the inner workings of the human body. Imagine if some of these machines could be made so thin, light, and portable that they could be attached right to the surface of your skin and go wherever you go.
There's some very sophisticated device functionality sitting on my skin now.
Two NSF-funded innovators have done just that by engineering something called an electronic tattoo, a microelectronic health monitor that has the potential to revolutionize the field of healthcare technology.
The electronic has always been rigid. To make electronics flexible, that's quite a challenge.
The path taken by John Rogers and Hyun-Gong Hwang to develop the electronic tattoo is an example of how collaboration is often a key or critical part of the innovation process. It all started in 2005 when both men worked at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, and Hwang happened to stop by a lecture Rogers was giving on campus.
Then we started talking, and we find John's work very fascinating, and John found my work on mechanics useful. So naturally the two of us evolve and work together.
At the time of their first encounter, Rogers, a material scientist and electrical engineer, was looking for new ways to use electronic circuits formed on the surface of silicon. Silicon is a natural semiconductor that has electrical properties between that of a conductor, a material in which an electrical charge can flow freely, and an insulator, a material that doesn't conduct an electrical charge at all. Semiconductors are the heart of most electronics today.
So at a very simple level, you can use a semiconductor like silicon as a switching element to turn electricity off or on.
Hwang, a mechanical engineer who has since moved to Northwestern University, specializes in the mechanics of curvilinear materials, which have surfaces that are wavy.
Curvilinear surface means it's a surface that's not flat. That's not, for example, my hat. The surface is curvilinear.
By combining their fields of expertise to hatch the initial idea of the tattoo, they set out to manufacture a prototype, something that has taken about 7 years and multiple breakthroughs to produce.
But one of the key things is to make electronics as flexible as possible that can follow the skin morphology.
The first breakthrough happened when they figured out how to slice off the surface layer of a silicon wafer. This new technique resulted in silicon that could bend, just like this single sheet of paper. Next, they discovered how to make silicon elastic, allowing it to be either flat or wavy in shape.
Suddenly you have a form of silicon that can bend, it can stretch, it can deform, it can coat and conform to curvilinear shapes, very much like biological tissues.
Even though it is called a tattoo, there is no need to pierce or puncture the skin. Instead, the device sticks on.
So what we can do then is we can take this device, laminate it on the skin, almost like a children's temporary transfer tattoo.
To figure out how to engineer this, Rogers and Hwang looked to nature, noting how easily lizards stick to walls.
Like gecko and others, they can easily attach to a wall and easily let go. So for us, we want to borrow some of that idea and to make the electronic not using glue to have strong adhesion with the skin.
Once attached, it can wirelessly detect electrical signals from inside the body, such as those given off by cells within the heart that cause it to contract and pump blood through its 4 chambers.
This particular device is powered inductively. So there's a coil here. I can bring a wireless power supply in proximity to this device and deliver power to it through the air.
Rogers and Hwang filed at least 10 different patent applications with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office to protect their invention before commercializing it. Patents allow inventors to acquire what are known as intellectual property rights to their inventions for limited periods of time.
The intellectual property is absolutely crucial. If that's not done carefully and thoughtfully, and if you don't really have distinctively new ideas that are well separated from things that people have tried in the past, it won't be viable. You won't be able to commercialize it.
A startup company called MC10 has licensed the multiple patents and patent applications and is developing a new generation of flexible healthcare devices.
While doing mechanics work, I never thought that I would have so much interaction with electrical engineers or material scientists. But now it's really at the interface we create new devices that never existed before.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. I want to talk about something that was trending on YouTube videos. It's something that most people out there are familiar with. It's been going around. People have been talking about it. That's the electronic skin tattoos. Okay, the people have been talking about this being conditioning for the eventual microchipping or the eventual mark of the beast. What it is they're using tattoos, and as we all know, they've been conditioning the masses to want tattoos, to making tattoos cool, even though tattoos are a form of bloodletting. They've made the masses just, everybody out there is just getting tattoos. It's something that isn't taboo to talk about anymore. Almost everybody has it. It's almost taboo not to have tattoos. But what they're doing is they're using this electronic skin tattoo as a form of conditioning for the microchip, for the potential mark of the beast. It's a wireless communication device. And what this one specifically is that YouTube is now pushing, or at least promoting and putting in their trending section, is the scratch-on tattoo. So it's a fake tattoo that they're using to get people, to get kids, to get the youth out there, 12-year-olds, 15-year-olds, the ones that they're targeting to get this tattoo, which they can use as a wireless device for wireless communication, for touch sensing, so they can touch the tattoo, the fake tattoo on their wrist. They can control their computer screen. They can control their phone. It's actually, like I said, it's a scratch-on version of a tattoo. So they're targeting young kids into getting this and using it as a way to control their mobile devices, to control their television, control their computer monitor. Some of these fake tattoos, these electronic skin tattoos, even have the capability to store data in them. As you can see from some of these images, you can buy and download movie tickets on your wrist with this electronic tattoo, with this fake tattoo. So what they do is you put your phone up to it, you can download the tickets in your wrist, you can go to the movie theater and use your wrist as a form of, getting into the movie theater, because the tickets themselves and the barcode is downloaded into this scratch-on tattoo. So in this video, they go on to talk about and condition people into thinking how it's not taboo anymore to talk about, electronics on your body, electronic markings on your body. They say it once was taboo, but now with science fiction and all of this stuff, because they've used science fiction, they've used the media to condition people into thinking that this is safe, that this is the future, that you're not going to need a wallet anymore, that you'll have a tattoo or a mark, or this is obviously conditioning for what could be under the skin and inside of the body and under the skin. And then they'll have their electronic currency, and then people won't need credit cards anymore. They won't need cash. We'll have a cashless society, which they're already pushing. I did a video on PayPal. The commercial they aired during the Super Bowl, deliberately put during the Super Bowl, of course, to get people prepared for not needing cash anymore. They were just pushing it, saying, why need cash anymore? We can have a cashless society. We can have an electronic currency. We don't need to carry around wallets. We don't need to have this stuff. Obviously, this is getting pushed towards and geared towards the millennials. They're the ones who are already testing this out and trying this technology, having themselves microchips so they don't have to carry wallets around, because it's such a burden to carry a wallet around. And then they have this scratch-on tattoo, which people are actually getting real tattoos put on that have this capability. That technology is already out there. But the reason I'm doing this video is because these are the scratch-on tattoos. This is targeting young kids, 10-year-olds, 8-year-olds, 12-year-olds. Young kids who are obviously technologically advanced, because these kids at such a young age are given iPhones, they're given iPads at 7, 6 years old. You see 6-year-olds walking around with iPads. They're more technologically advanced than people in their 40s or 50s this day and age. So these kids are already getting pushed with technology. And then their parents, obviously, they're going to say, look, I got this, scratch-on decal tattoo on the boardwalk or wherever they went and got it. The parents won't think for 1 second that it's conditioning for the mark of the beast. The parents will just say, oh, how cool. You can control your phone from your wrist by touching it like a dial pad, like you're on Star Trek or you're in Star Wars. And that's exactly how this video plays out. They use, science fiction as a way to say, listen, it's not taboo anymore to talk about getting this type of technology on your body, in your flesh, in your skin. It once was taboo. It's not anymore, because they're conditioning everybody out there with this stuff. They're conditioning people to be okay with it. And like I've said over and over, what they're going to do is they're going to roll out these celebrities. They're going to roll out Beyonce and Rihanna and the Kardashians and all of these false idols that the people worship. They're going to see them have it. They're going to show them casually on reality shows, going to the store and just swiping their hand, Oh, they don't need credit cards. They don't need anything. They can just go and check out of the store just simply by scanning their wrist, right? And then they'll use fear and they'll say, you don't have to worry about your identity getting stolen anymore, which is part of this whole hacking thing that we've heard about for years. Oh, hacking and people are stealing other people's identification. I'm not saying that it hasn't happened and it's not real, that people don't do that kind of stuff, but they can easily use that, and they will use that as a fear ploy to tell people, listen, when you have this microchip, you don't have to worry about your social security getting stolen. You don't have to worry about somebody robbing or taking your money, because everything will be electronically in your DNA and in your flesh. And that's exactly what this is. This is conditioning for the youth out there. They're starting them off with these scratch-on tattoos where they're limited in what they can do, of course, but it's something where they can access their phones with it. They can, actually control their television screens or their computer screens. They can download things into this scratch-on tattoo. They can download movie tickets. Who knows what other capabilities it has, but obviously it has the same capabilities as if, you're using your phone and using the barcode technology on your phone, where you could take a picture, of one of those barcode things and it can download, movie tickets and all that. Now it's on the skin. Okay, and the reason that I'm doing this video again is because we've heard about tattoos and things like that, the microchip tattoo. We've heard about the microchip under the skin, the microchip in the hand and the wrist. Now we're hearing about this, which is conditioning for the youth out there. So young kids will have this. And by the time they hit 16, 17, 18 years old, they'll already have had the scratch-on decal tattoo, and they'll say, oh, it was fun, Oh, it was no big deal. It was cool while it was there. And now, oh, it's advanced so much. You could do so much more with it. And these young kids out there are going to go along with this stuff. We're getting the mark of the beast, getting the microchip. If that is indeed the mark of the beast, I believe that it is. Some people believe it's not. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion on what it is. Okay, I'm not getting anything put in my flesh, I'll tell you that right now, at all. Any computer technology, nothing. Like I've said over and over, they'll find me in the woods first before they find me getting that crap put in my body. But this is just conditioning for it. So I wanted to point out, because YouTube's promoting it. They're showing it like it's cool and it's hip. Like I said, they're using science fiction as always, as they use the movies and the science fiction that they've conditioned the masses with to say, oh, it's like Star Trek, but now it's not taboo anymore because we've seen it over and over in all these movies. Don't be afraid to get it. And they're trying it out on the youth because obviously I don't think you're going to see a 30-year-old or 40-year-old at work with one of these fake scratch-on tattoos on his wrist. He might get beat up. If he does, I mean, I don't know if he gets beat up or not, but it's pretty embarrassing if you're a grown man walking around with this, this cheesy little scratch-on tattoo. But obviously a young kid, right? No big deal. You get it on your wrist, or you play around with your phone and stuff like that, and you're conditioned for what is to come in the future. And that's what this is all about. So YouTube, of course, promoting it. Somehow something like this, which it shouldn't be viral, they make viral. Like I've said over and over, they push these things in the trending section. Obviously, if you go through it, I did a video on it one night. You go through it. It's just every agenda you could possibly imagine in there. The gay agenda gets pushed. The homosexual, transgender agendas. You see the stuff with Hillary and her illness in there. You see the race war propaganda pushed in there. And then, of course, you see the musicians that they want to push, and their videos are filled with satanic symbolism, like Bon Iver, whatever his name is, and his video that had nothing but Freemason imagery in it. Or these other guys you've never heard of. And you say, why would they be trending? Well, because YouTube is pushing and promoting these these satanic agendas, these Illuminati agendas, and this is one of them, the conditioning for the microchipping of society, which I believe is the mark of the beast, and that's what this scratch-on tattoo is for. It's for the youth out there to get them prepared for that generation and the generation underneath it to be prepared to accept this. So YouTube, again, promoting this nonsense. It's just garbage, absolute filth, as they continue to desensitize everybody and condition them for this satanic agenda and the ushering in of the Antichrist. It's unbelievable. It really is. I thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you. May peace be with you.